Okay. Run a white wire from the pad labeled bias wiper to the center lug of the bias control. I need to clean up these lugs. Where did my solder? Okay, I'm back after another round of recharging the camera battery. I have not advanced much except that I prepared this white wire and put it in where we want it to install. Now I gotta turn the soldering iron back on. So I've been away for about 90 minutes or so while the battery charged. Let's reread what we are doing here. Run a white wire from the pad labeled bias wiper to the center lug of the bias control. Okay, so we have to solder that first, and then we'll flip it over again and we will solder a wire to the center lug on that pot, which is this pot here. So where is my solder? There's a short length that broke off, so we'll use that. And is this thing hot enough yet? It is. Glass is on. Solder iron on. Solder in hand. Little snippy snip snip here. And that looks good. And I'm going to be a little bit conservative this time with wire. I'm going to just cut the lengths I need so that hopefully I don't run out. And so I guess it would help if I ran this through our capacitor hole. Oh, I think I've lost you guys. Well, I don't know, I haven't. But we're going to be soldering onto that lug. And so we do want to leave a little bit of slack. We don't want any stress or strain on the wires. So open that, and we strip. And center. Come on, get in there. Well, maybe we go down and under like this, and then loop. I think that's outside lugs, last lug, terminal. I think we can solder this. And let me just double check again that I haven't lost you guys. I have not. Okay, that looks good. Snip that lead. Okay, next, run a white wire from the pad labeled bias A to one of the outside lugs of the bias control. So it does not specify which one, so I guess that means it doesn't matter. So let's strip that. And bias A. That. I think I just spotted a mistake, but let's deal with this first. Okay, bias A is this far. Come on. Bias A. Bias A on the outside lugs of the bias control. Okay. Solder. Snippy snip. And cords all get tangled up. So run a right wire band by say to one of the outside lugs. Well, I guess we might as well do the bottom one. So with this white wire, we will come around the corner when she comes. So we'll loop around like that. That should be satisfactory. Have I lost you guys? No. Ouch. Sharp edge there. Arg. Come on, don't do that. much more better. Soldering iron, solder, I think that's okay. Okay, white wire is in place. Run a white wire from the pad labeled bias B to the last lug on the bias control. Okay. Bias B. Where are we here? Guess I'm too close. Can't see where my finger is. And there it is. Bias B is next. Let's strip the wire. Bias B. I did that backwards. Well, it's not wrong, but I don't like that. I like symmetry. I like professional, or as professional as an amateur can be. So, I want to wire it in the same fashion as everything else. Oh, wrong direction. Not good enough solder. You've got to do better. So I like that. And I haven't forgotten. I think that I made a mistake, and we have to go back and verify that it is a mistake. And I'm 90% sure that it is. We'll get to it. Okay, white wire goes to, I think, the other lug, the last lug, they say. And I'm quickly running out of battery. So I think that this battery is shot. Okay, so we'll loopy-loop around here. If the battery does cut out, I'm going to finish this anyway. The wire went flying. Hopefully I don't need any more white. And I'm trying to hurry here. Okay, I've got this white wire done, and this green wire needs to be soldered, and then I think we're done. So connect a small green wire from the radio harness to terminal number 4 on the new terminal strip. So I believe that that would be this. Can you see where I'm pointing? Yeah, right at the bottom of the I believe that is terminal 4. Let me take a quick look. That doesn't look right. I think this... hang on a second, I gotta see which is which. I'll be back. Okay, I think that this wire goes here to the lug next door. I think that this yellow wire, and I hope you all agree with me that it's a yellow wire, it's supposed to go on lug number 3, not lug number 4. So lug number 3, and this green wire goes to lug number 4. That is not a good solder. Come on. Okay, where are we here? Connect the small green wire to the terminal on number 4. I've done that. And There is supposed to be yellow. Something fouled up here. This is my replacement yellow, and I think yellow goes to yellow. Yeah, it's number 3. I put it in the wrong place. So this is messed up. This. Okay, let's solder this. Okay, so I'm still missing a wire. A number 4 lug should have 2 wires. I'm looking at my other AC-5 and it's got 2 wires going to lug 4. I need to find what I am missing. This goes to center. Run a right wire, run a right wire, run a right wire. Take the small green wire from the radio harness terminal number 4 on the to the terminal number 4 on the new terminal SIP. Solder a green wire from this lug to the pad labeled green on the PCB. Wonderful. I don't know. Where's my green wire? This is going to be fun. Hang on. Okay, I'm not going to ask because I'm getting impatient here. If this is not green, then it is green, if you know what I mean. Because it's not easy being green when you're colorblind. And so, changes are, where did this go? The pad labeled green on the PCB. Green. All right. Green. Snippy snip. And that's it for that. Come up through this hole. Go back here. And green is supposed to go here. Come on, battery, hang on. Don't quit on me now. Ah, there's a gap. Pull that out of the way. Let's pull this up. And let's be prepared to kind of push that through because the insulation is kind of messed up. So let's fix this. All right, we'll just cut it off. I think that looks okay. Not my best solder job, but now I think this black wire, can you see where I'm pointing? That black wire, oh, it's hot, is in the wrong place on the printed circuit board. Yeah, I need a flashlight. Gray as opposed to ground. I think that black wire is in the wrong hole. Run a black wire from the pad labeled ground on the PCB. Run a black wire to this pad for the center lug of the 3-terminal lug solder. I didn't say that right. From this pad to the center lug of the 3-terminal lug and solder. So this is wrong. I'll show you. That goes there. So we are going to need to fix that. The first step is to remove the black wire, and the second step is to resolder it. But for that, I want to turn this over yet again and adjust so you can follow along with what I'm doing. Wait a second. What the hell is that? It's a fake out, guys. On the bottom, the PCB board says ground, GND. And next to it, it says gray. And on the top of the PCB, it says the opposite. Come on. You probably already see it. So that's an interesting little quirk of this PCB board printing. The underside of the board, the outside lug says gray. And the inside lug says ground. And on the opposite side, it is reversed. So since they are both connected, if you can see the trace in between, they're both ground. So I didn't have to do what I just did. It was fine to begin with. Did not make a mistake. After all, it's a mistake on the printed circuit board. So that is another little errata for you to be aware of so that you don't get confused like I did. And the fact that that little piece of metal just went flying was not my intent, but so other than this ground/gray wire, all wires seem to be accounted for. Let us turn this back over. Oh, sorry. Come on. Power cord, let go. Alright, tidy up the wiring. Make sure you haven't pinched any wires with the mounting hardware. Check your work. The new terminal strip should have the following wires. Lug number 1, blue wire from transformer and blue wire from the PCB. Terminal number 2, no connection. This is ground. Terminal number 3, small yellow wire to the radio harness, large yellow wire from the PCB. I don't have a large yellow wire. There is no large yellow wire, and so I had to substitute, but yes. And number 4, small green wire to the radio harness, large green wire from the PCB. And I believe that's correct. Topmost lug, large blue wire from the transformer and blue wire to the PCB. Oh, that's the 3. Large blue wire, gray wire from the radio harness. It's under there, but it's there. And the black is the ground connection. Some radios do not have this gray wire. It might be black, therefore the gray pad PCB won't be used. There's the explanation. Some radios do not have this gray wire. It might be black, therefore the gray pad on the PCB won't be used. However, as we've said, the PCB printing is reversed on top side versus bottom side, which got me confused. Bottom lug, large yellow wire from the transformer and the large yellow wire from the PCB. There are no large yellow wires. They're all the same gauge. Kind of loose terminology, Topmost with the power cord to your left, this is to my left, the first lug as number 1. No lug on most supplies, ground connection. Lug 2, large yellow wire from transformer, large yellow wire to PCB. Next, number 3, red transformer wire to the red wire from the PCB. And red transformer wire to the red wire from the PCB for number 4. And number 5 is an unused ground connection. All the pads in the PCB should now have the wire attached, except of course for that gray. Make sure the wire colors match the pad names. They don't, because I only had so much yellow wire. Don't forget about the gray-black wire above. Some radios do not have this gray wire, and therefore the gray pad on the PCB won't be used. The gray and black pads connected together on the PCB. There should be no loose wires under the chassis. All color-coded wires should match. There should be no wires attached to the ground lug on the terminal strip you installed, and there aren't. The hardware holding the PCB should be installed and tight. They didn't say tighten it yet, but okay, fine. We'll tighten that now. All connections to the 2 terminal strips should be soldered to check for stray wires touching other lugs or to the ground lug. 13 is just showing the wiring, the old capacitor holes. And 14. Testing the AC-4R supply. Power supply contains voltages that can and will kill you if you get in contact with them. If you are not able to test the supply or do not have the necessary test equipment, then stop. Either find the necessary gear or person to help with the following steps. Keep one hand on in your back pocket. I don't have a back pocket at the moment, but that's okay. To avoid touching ground. Do not connect the supply to the Drake radio equipment at this time. You need to short 2 wires to allow the supply to power up without connecting it to a Drake radio. There is no way to tell if the supply has 120 AC power applied to it. Let's repeat that. There is no way to tell if the supply has 120 volts AC power applied to it. There's no lights, there's no on-off switch. The on-off switch is on the transmitter itself. On the large connector, those two pins, number 1 and number 2, you can use a short piece of insulated hookup wire to short the two pins together. Place some tape across the small jumper to keep it in place. So, this is the connector, and I need two jumper so that we are going to fool the power supply into thinking that it is on. I'll use the thicker black wire for this. This is what we're talking about here. Where are we? We need to, too close. We need to put a jumper on this. What we're going to do, now let me zoom out. And I'm running out of power again just as we get to the test. I'm not going to rush for this, so we're going to have to pause because I don't want you guys to miss the power up. Let's see if I can get this jumper done at least before the battery quits. The battery lamp is blinking. Come on, hurry, hurry, hurry. Okay. One and two. 1 and 2. All right, we've got our jumper in place. I'm going to go and plug the camera back in and recharge it some before we actually do the testing, so we can test this together and see if we get a lot of smoke or if I get blasted across the room by a 800 volt shock. Whatever. We'll be back.